Pac-Man, Pikachu, Mario, Lara Croft, and Master Chief. Some video game characters are more than just the games they appear in. Here are some of the legends that forever changed the world of video games and pop culture. Link. If you're a Nintendo fan, you'll be familiar with Link, the main protagonist of the Legend of Zelda series. With his iconic sword, shield, and bow and arrow, Link fought to protect Hyrule from the evil Ganondorf. This mission had him protecting the series' title character, Princess Zelda, who was often found in danger. Created by Japanese video game designer Shigeru Miyamoto, Link made his debut in 1986's The Legend of Zelda. The game was released for the iconic 8-bit NES, only 1 year after the first Super Mario game. Players got to control the young, elf-like Link as he collected the 8 pieces of the Triforce of Wisdom. The success of The Legend of Zelda quickly launched a franchise, continuing with Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, A Link to the Past for the Super NES, and Link's Awakening for the Game Boy and Game Boy Color. In 1998, the game series started using 3D graphics in The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time was an instant classic on the Nintendo 64 and has been regarded as one of the best video games of all time. Link was always the main character of the Legend of Zelda games, and while there have been several different versions of him like Toon Link, his characterization has been consistent all throughout. He represented heroism, nobility, and courage. He was also of the strong and silent type, with players never hearing the character speak. Link's fan-favorite status entered him into the small 12-character roster for the very first Super Smash Bros. The character has continued to be massively popular, appearing in 2017's Breath of the Wild, 2018's Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and a 2019 remake of Link's Awakening. All 3 games were released for the Nintendo Switch. Pikachu. Pokémon is one of Nintendo's biggest franchises, and serving as its mascot is the yellow mouse-like creature, Pikachu. Game Freak and Nintendo created the electric-type Pokémon for Japan's 1996 video game, Pokémon Red and Green. The game was released in North America 2 years later, retitled Pokémon Red and Blue. Pikachu was small and cute, and won the hearts of millions of people across the globe. The character was found to appeal to people of all ages, which was why it was chosen as a mascot for the Pokémon animated series. Besides Winnie the Pooh, it seems that there was a lack of yellow mascots in pop culture for some reason, which allowed Pikachu to stand out from the crowd. When the Pokémon animated series began in the late 90s, Pikachu was featured as the companion to the main character Ash Ketchum. Ash Ketchum was a Pokémon trainer who usually kept his Pokémon away from sight in a Pokéball. But Pikachu was not like the rest. He mostly spent time right by Ash's side or sitting on top of his hat or shoulders. When Ash said, "Pikachu, I choose you," he really meant it. The two were inseparable. In the present day, Pikachu continues to serve as a mascot for the Pokémon franchise. He appears in nearly every game and was the title character in 2018's Pokémon Let's Go Pikachu. In the film Detective Pikachu, Pikachu was voiced by the Deadpool actor himself, Ryan Reynolds. The popularity of Pikachu has sold a ridiculous amount of merchandise, including backpacks, plushies, pajamas, lunchboxes, sparkling water, and so much more. Crash Bandicoot. Before Naughty Dog developed the hit PlayStation series The Last of Us, they had Crash Bandicoot. The character was a genetically enhanced Bandicoot who opposed his creator, the evil mad scientist Dr. Neocortex. Crash was known for spinning himself like a tornado to destroy just about everything in sight. Doing so gave the player-controlled Crash collectibles such as the consumable Wumpa Fruit. Guiding Crash through his adventures was Aku Aku, a witch doctor spirit housed in a floating wooden mask. The Crash Bandicoot character was originally intended by Sony to be their mascot. They wanted to compete against Nintendo's Mario and Sega's Sonic the Hedgehog. For years, the Crash games were PlayStation exclusives, but the series eventually made its way onto other platforms, starting with 2001's Crash Bandicoot: The Wrath of Cortex. From that point forward, every mainline Crash game was also released for the Xbox. While the Crash series started off as platform games, they've since expanded into the genres of party games and kart racers. In 2019, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled was released. If you needed a great kart racing alternative to Mario Kart, that was an option you had to look into. Now, with the rise of mobile games, the franchise has also released the new Crash Bandicoot On the Run. If you're wondering what type of game it might be, think of something like Subway Surfers, Temple Run, or Minion Rush. For many years, Crash Bandicoot was depicted as an adventure-loving, silent character. That changed with 2020's Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. He narrated the game's epilogue, and it blew people's minds. Please take a second to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Thanks! Master Chief. Everyone knows Xbox is one of the main consoles in the gaming sphere. Since the days of the original Xbox, Master Chief has served as the face of the Xbox brand. Inside an Xbox One X console, gamers found an etching of Master Chief riding on top of a scorpion. When the Xbox Series X launched, the packaging, of course, prominently featured Master Chief. Like the Mandalorian from Star Wars, Halo's Master Chief was an armored warrior who never took off his helmet. The Master Chief was a super soldier in the 26th century, protecting humanity from an alien alliance known as the Covenant. When playing Halo, players were meant to feel like the Master Chief. The game was a first-person shooter where you stepped right into his shoes. To help the player with immersion, Master Chief spoke few words, aside from his epic one-liners. He received significant character development in expanded media, particularly in novels and comics. John 1:17 was taken from his family at a young age to become a Spartan. Over time, the games explored more of the character's emotional core and humanity. John had a deep relationship with a smart AI known as Cortana. With Cortana's help, Master Chief was able to save the world countless times. In the real world, Microsoft modeled their virtual assistant after Cortana to compete with Apple's Siri and Google's Assistant. In 2022, a live-action Halo television series was released for Paramount Plus with Master Chief as its main character. The series, however, was criticized for its drastic reinterpretation of the games. The Halo games' Master Chief was reserved, quiet, and was never seen without his helmet. In the show, Master Chief was a talkative man prone to emotional outbursts, nothing like the game's character. Mario. First known as Jumpman, Mario has become Nintendo's official mascot. The Japanese-created, English-speaking Italian plumber was a resident of the Mushroom Kingdom, where he lived with his twin brother Luigi. Mario first appeared as the player character in the 1981 arcade game Donkey Kong. He was only added because creator Shigeru Miyamoto was unable to obtain the licensing rights to Popeye the Sailor Man. But Jumpman proved to be popular, which led him to getting a real name, Mario, and his own series of games. Mario only continued to grow in popularity, and it never really stopped. Since Donkey Kong, Mario has appeared in over 200 games. Most of the Mario games centered on Mario rescuing Princess Peach from the evil Bowser. Princess Peach was the damsel in distress, and Mario was the knight in shining armor. Or in this case, a short, pudgy plumber in a red hat and blue overalls. Along the way, he'd frequently jump and hit his head on brown bricks, collect floating coins, and use a variety of different power-ups. Many spin-offs venturing away from the typical Mario formula have been produced. These include the more puzzle-based Dr. Mario and role-playing games like Paper Mario. Sports spin-offs have included Mario Kart, Mario Super Sluggers, Mario Tennis, and Mario Strikers. Then there's also Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Mario has been featured in many gaming crossovers, such as Super Smash Bros. And Ubisoft's Mario and Rabbids. The character has been so prominent that it's safe to say that he will not be going anywhere anytime soon. The overall Mario franchise is the #1 best-selling video game franchise of all time. A new computer-animated film is currently in the works at Universal, with Chris Pratt lending the voice to Mario. Sonic the Hedgehog. Sega saw the success of Mario and immediately decided they needed a rival mascot. The result was a blue anthropomorphic hedgehog that ran at supersonic speeds. He was introduced as Sonic the Hedgehog in the early 90s. While Mario jumped on the heads of enemies to fight them, Sonic curled up into a ball to attack. Sonic did not consume red mushrooms and instead collected yellow rings. Speed was everything, with Sonic games encouraging the player to race through its levels. People used to think that the fastest kid in school was the coolest kid in school. So, when the character design of Sonic was being conceptualized, Sega wanted cool to be visually represented. As technology advanced, Sonic was assigned voice actors that could exude cool. This meant confidence, bordering on cockiness, playfulness, witty humor, and the courage to tackle challenges head-on. But Sonic couldn't spend all his time alone. He was joined by Miles Tails Prower in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, released in the early 90s. Tails was a yellow anthropomorphic fox cub, the best friend Sonic could ever ask for. The duo was joined by Knuckles in the next game, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Knuckles was a red anthropomorphic echidna who could climb walls and had incredible strength. Together, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles battled the evil Dr. Eggman. The trio made it to the big screen in the live-action 2022 movie Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Many considered it to be one of the best video game movies ever made. The success of the film strengthened interest in the Sonic brand. Much like Mario, Sonic has appeared in various spin-offs, such as Sonic Riders and Team Sonic Racing. Sonic has also been featured alongside Mario in games that have included Super Smash Bros. And Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. When a video game character is a title character in a game with Mario, you know they've made it. Sonic has always been fast, and he was able to race past Mario to release a successful movie. Pac-Man. When you think about arcade games, chances are you'll quickly think of Pac-Man. The appearance of Pac-Man was inspired by the image of a pizza that had a missing slice. Namco's Toru Iwatani created the character and the game. A cute and colorful design was chosen to appeal to younger players. Pac-Man was the video game representation of hangry. He needed to eat large quantities of food in a short period of time. Plus, after eating a power pellet, Pac-Man would aggressively chase and eat his enemies, the ghosts. Originally, Pac-Man was called Puck-Man. This name was changed by Namco because in North America, it would easily rhyme with a profanity by changing the P in Puck-Man to an F. Pac-Man was a huge success in the 80s, with the first game being released in the first year of the decade. Since then, more than 30 licensed sequels and spin-offs have been made. Among these spin-offs was Miss Pac-Man, which introduced Pac-Man's wife. In 2022, a compilation was released called Pac-Man Museum Plus that included a total of 14 Pac-Man games, along with new game features. There are a lot of iconic video game characters, but the OG is Pac-Man. He was the first video game mascot and was also the first to get his own merchandise. The core gameplay mechanics and visual design of Pac-Man remained intact over the years. Hey, if it ain't broke, there's no need to fix it. The simplicity of Pac-Man has always been its allure, and that's something that will never change. Lara Croft. Lara Croft has always been an intelligent, courageous, and adventurous archaeologist. In many ways, she was like a video game version of Indiana Jones. Both characters were archaeologists who found themselves in dangerous situations. The character of Lara Croft was introduced in the 1996 game Tomb Raider. The graphics were decent back then, but they haven't aged that well over time. Lara Croft was tasked with finding the Scion of Atlantis, navigating difficult terrain, fighting enemies, and solving puzzles. During a time when video game characters were dominantly male, Tomb Raider made a woman the hero. This was revolutionary, allowing Lara Croft to pave the way for many characters after her. Fast forward to now, it's not difficult to find strong women in lead roles in video games. From the late 90s to 2010, many more Tomb Raider games were released. Between that time, 2 Tomb Raider films starring Angelina Jolie were made. But everything was rebooted in 2013 with Crystal Dynamics' Tomb Raider. This brought Lara Croft to a new audience, giving the franchise a much-needed modern update. The franchise featured a new Lara Croft, experiencing a new story set in a very dark and challenging world. The modern Lara Croft had more grit and had to become much more resilient. A film reboot soon followed, released towards the end of the 2010s and starred Alicia Vikander. She represented an action heroine with a sharp mind, athletic skill, and remarkable resourcefulness. Thanks for watching. Let us know some of your favorites in the comments section, and go ahead and check out another video.